Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 12, finally, of the Unstoppable Entertainment Show. I am, of course, Nate Schaffner, otherwise known as the Unstoppable Nate. I know, where have I been? I know I told everybody that I would be back this past Saturday, and all I can say is life got in the way. I had a pretty busy weekend, uh, and I was like, you know, I got to do the show, but then you know, life tends to throw you a curveball every now and then, and uh, but I am here, and there's plenty of stuff to talk about. I'm going to go see this movie called Black Bag later this afternoon, a little later, about an hour and a half actually. Uh, so, so here we are. Got plenty of stuff to talk about this week. Um, but before we get into that, uh, just wanted to remind everybody that if you like this show, go ahead and hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, spread the word, tell your friends. Also, if you have a comment, a question, if you'd like me to talk about certain movies or franchises, you can email me anytime at the address listed in the description of this video. So, with that down, let's get to it here and let's get started with this. So, for those who don't know, Blumhouse Productions is Blumhouse Productions is producing an upcoming remake of The Mummy. Now, I know right off the top that there are going to be people out there that will be saying, "Oh God, another one like the one with Tom Cruise was so bad." Yeah, it kind of. The Tom Cruise one, I didn't hate it. I thought it was a small stinking pile of crap. Um, you know. So, uh, but let me tell you why I'm excited for this. And let me preface this by saying I'm a huge fan of the classic Universal Monsters film series. Now, I haven't seen them all, but I'm a huge fan of the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi. I love the original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. The first time I watched that, after it was over, I was like, I think I just watched the greatest horror movie ever. I frigging love that movie. Um, I really love the original Invisible Man. I think was that Claude Rains? Yeah, it was Claude Rains. I love that movie. And you know, I really like the original Mummy as well. That also starred Boris Karloff. I really like that movie too, and I enjoy I enjoy the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. As you know, uh, the third one not so much. The third one had issues for me personally. Um, but I really enjoy uh, the first two, and then the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. Like I said, it's not that it's kind of like purgatory. You know, it's not that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. Yeah, that's a Family Guy joke, Family Guy reference. Okay, so now, uh, Blumhouse Productions and New Line Cinema are. Blumhouse Productions is producing another remake of The Mummy that will be distributed by New Line Cinema, which will make, if I have my information correct, this will be the first film in the Mummy franchise not to be distributed by Universal Pictures. It will be distributed by New Line Cinema. Okay, so here we go. There's an article on CBR. Oh, the dog's barking. Uh-oh. Bum, bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. The dog's barking. Don't know what. But this article is on CBR, published by Lee Freitag. And this article says that New Line Cinema's The Mummy remake has begun casting. The first actor to join the upcoming horror movie is Transformers franchise alum Jack Raynor. This article goes on to say that, per The Hollywood Reporter, Raynor is playing, quote, a husband and father who runs afoul of supernaturally sinister forces, unquote. Now, Jack Raynor was in the Transformers Age of Extinction, which is the one with the Dinobots. And he was also, I think he was in Midsummer, or Midsommar, or however you pronounce it, that horror movie with Florence Pugh. I think he played Florence Pugh's boyfriend or husband, or, significant other, I should say. So those are Jack Raynor's, at least to me, his most prominent roles. Now, here's specifically why I'm really excited about this Mummy remake. This article does point out that this movie was first announced in December 2024. The new Mummy movie hails from Evil Dead Rise filmmaker Lee Cronin, who is set to direct the monster movie from his own screenplay. Lee Cronin directed Evil Dead Rise is great. It's bloody awesome. Literally. Bloody awesome. And it's kind of it's a modern take, a more updated version of the original Evil Dead. It's fan-effing-tastic. Okay? This is why I'm excited. So, this article does point out, while plot details beyond Raynor's character description remain under wraps, Cronin teased last year that his Mummy movie will take a different approach to the well-known story. Quote, this will be unlike any Mummy movie you ever laid eyeballs on before, unquote, he said in a statement. He goes on to say, quote, I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and very frightening, unquote. Awesome. Awesome. Anybody who's seen Evil Dead Rise knows that, when he says something very ancient and very frightening, sign me up, right? I mean, that movie's fantastic. I can't say that enough. Now, this article does go on to say that this Mummy movie will not be connected to any of the previous movies in the monster universe. So it will be its own standalone thing, kind of like the there was the remake of The Invisible Man, which which Blumhouse and Universal did, that came out during the pandemic. It came out in 2020. That starred Elizabeth Moss, which I heard was great. I still haven't seen it. I need to see it. And then there was that Wolfman movie that came out last year, which I heard was not so great. So there's that. So my thoughts on it are this: Lee Cronin directing, awesome. Evil Dead Rise is great. Blumhouse and Universal teaming up again. Specifically with Blumhouse, I really, Blumhouse is, their business model is fantastic. They produce movies for very little money that end up making a lot of money. And also, specifically with their horror movies, they more often than not knock it out of the park. And I am really excited to see a different, like a different kind of mummy movie. I think the I how do I want to say it? I think if you watch the original Mummy movie, that movie's scary, man. That movie's a trip. And then there was some scary, I dare say it, the first Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. There were some elements in there that was scary as well, with the whole cult following of Imhotep and the scarabs and there's some scary stuff in that movie. I want this movie to freak the hell out of me, to be honest with you. I am really looking forward to this one. Jump in the comments section and let me know your thoughts on this. So this next piece of news has to do with more casting news regarding the DCU Green Lantern series, aptly titled Lanterns. That's the DCU that James Gunn and Peter Safran are heading up. This article is on MovieWeb, published by LaShanta Moore. And this article says that Stranger Things' Sherman Augustus is leaving the Midwest and heading to the DC Universe. The veteran actor and former NFL player recently joined the cast of DCU's Lanterns and is set to portray John Sr., the father of Aaron Pierre's character, John Stewart. John Sr. is said to be the sort of parent who holds on to the past and is the definition of stubborn. His role will also be recurring, so viewers will see him often throughout the upcoming HBO drama series based on the DC Green Lantern comic. Okay. This is interesting to me, and this, I think, could add a very interesting character dynamic, because we also know that John Stewart's mother, Nicole. So John Stewart's mother, Bernadette, is going to be played by Nicole Ari Parker. And, given the kind of character that John Stewart is, and given the kind of character description that John Stewart's father is going to be, it's going to be an interesting family dynamic there. How those three characters will get along, if they even do get along. What's the relationship between John Stewart and his father going to be? And how how that family will function, if they function at all, right? I mean, you have a kind of stubborn the definition of stubborn. It says, will he, especially because he's going to be a recurring role. What kind of relationship will they have? Will it be one that's in disarray, and will it be repaired over the course of the show? And also, as I would love to see how Jordan, played by Kyle Chandler, how will he factor into that, or will he? I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be interesting to see, like, whether John Stewart looks up to Hal Jordan as a father figure. I have all these theories in my head, right, about what we could possibly see, right, and it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see in the character and family dynamic that we're going to see in this show. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about John Sr., John Stewart's father, being a part of this Green Lantern show. So this next piece of news, now I should preface this piece of news by saying that this report is coming from a movie insider, a kind of movie scooper, I guess you could say. And this particular movie insider has reported some things that have turned out to be true and some things that have not turned out to be true. But there's more stuff that he's reported on in the past that has been true than not. So I just want to point that out. Like, most of the stuff that he's reported on has come out to be true. So this piece of news is on Flickering Myth. And Oscar Isaac, who I really like, is set to... There's not much information to go on here. But Oscar Isaac is going to play a cellist in a movie that will be written and directed by Tony Gilroy, who is the creator and showrunner for the Star Wars series Andor, which I have heard great things about. That's another one that I need to watch. So this article is on Flickering Myth, published by Matt Rogers. And this article says, Star Wars alumni Oscar Isaac from The Force Awakens and Tony Gilroy from Andor are set to team up for cellist drama Behemoth. So, according to this insider, Tony Gilroy, who also wrote The Bourne Identity and The Bourne Supremacy, has completed a script with Isaac attached and is touting it around town to multiple interested parties. That means that he has a script and he's shopping it around to studios to fund it, to distribute and finance it and things like that. There are no specific plot details at the time of the writing, aside from the fact that Behemoth is being described as, quote, a drama about a cellist, unquote. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good to me. Oscar Isaac is a wonderful actor. He was I loved him in the Marvel Moon Knight TV show. He was inside Llewyn Davis. He was obviously great in that. I'm just gonna relay my thoughts on this because there's not much information to go on. I wonder, specifically as a kind of like behind the scenes kind of person, my curiosity is just like, is he going to actually play the cello, or are they going to get like a somebody? Are they going to film it in a way where somebody else plays it? You know, that's I'm as a behind the scene, as a fan of like the making of movies. Um, I I'm just curious about that. Like I'm just wondering and also the title Behemoth. Is Oscar Isaac playing a big time, like, well known cellist? Is he playing a fictional uh you know cellist who's a really big deal? Behemoth. That's an interesting title. I'm interested in this project. I really like Oscar Isaac and Tony Gilroy. Especially with Andor and the Bourne Identity and Supremacy. I mean, this could be great. This could be really great. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this. So there's a there's this. Yeah. This week, there are several pieces of news regarding film delays, and I'm about to get into one of them here. So, for those who don't know, I want to make sure I get my information correctly before I continue here. Give me just a second. So, okay. So Christian Bale is going to star in a remake of The Bride of Frankenstein that is going to be titled The Bride. Christian Bale, is going to play Frankenstein's monster. And it is going to be directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. And there's been some unfortunate news about that movie. So this article is on Screen Rant, published by Max Brzezinski and Brennan Klein. So this article I should also preface this by saying that sometimes when we hear about movie delays, there's not much of a reason given, if any reason is given at all. But this article does point out the reasons behind why it's being delayed. So, this article says The Bride, an upcoming Frankenstein movie starring Christian Bale and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, has had its release date pushed back and will now come out in 2026 rather than 2025. So this movie was supposed to come out this year, and it's been completely taken off the release calendar for this year and moved to next year. This article continues, the upcoming movie The Bride will be set in 1930s Chicago and will follow Frankenstein as he seeks out Dr. Euphronius to make him a companion. In addition to Bale, the cast of the film includes Jessie Buckley, Annette Bening, who I love, Penelope Cruz, who I love, Peter Sarsgaard, and Jake Gyllenhaal, who is great as well. Now, here's what's interesting. This article does say this news comes not long after the reveal that reactions to the film's early test screenings were negative. This article continues, Warner Brothers reveals that The Bride's release date has been changed from September 26, 2025 to March 6, 2026. Okay. I have several thoughts on this. this uh, so Maggie Gyllenhaal directing this movie, and the test screenings were negative. It's it's not good. Maggie Gyllenhaal has did direct a movie in 2021 called The Lost Daughter, which got great reviews, and actually, um, if I have my information correctly, was nominated for three Oscars. So a movie like that, when you direct a movie that gets critically praised and gets nominated for three Oscars, it's obvious that your director is a competent person. Okay? Now, that being said, um, these negative test screenings, the movie being pushed to March of next year. My immediate thoughts are on this are that maybe Maggie Gyllenhaal got in a little bit over her head. Who knows? I don't. Maybe she took on more than she could. You know. It also says to me that Warner Brothers isn't very confident that this movie could be a success financially and otherwise. Um, you know, I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. But to go from I I'm not sure what happened. It's disappointing that the movie got delayed this much. Um, six months. That says a lot about the quality of the movie. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still looking forward to it because I love the genre and I love the movie. I love classic movie monsters. But the negative test screenings, the delay, I don't know. My only thoughts are maybe Maggie Gyllenhaal took on more than she could do. She got in. Maybe she got in over her head. Maybe Warner Brothers doesn't have faith in the movie. I don't know. I mean, all we can do is wait and see, right? So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to this? What theories do you have about why this got delayed? Jump in the comment section and let me know. So this next bit of news. So for those who don't know, there is going to be a Friday the 13th prequel series. This is not going to be a reinvention of the franchise. It's going to be a prequel to the original film. Now, I'm a fan of the Friday the 13th movies. However, I think the original Friday the 13th movie is really the only one that you can say is objectively a good movie. And it's the franchise just keeps getting like after the first one, I feel that the movies just got kind of schlocky, and some of them really aren't even that good. Um, and then they did that remake in 2009 that I hated. I hated that movie so much. It completely destroyed the entire mythology of Jason Voorhees. I couldn't stand that movie. But anyway, so there's going to be a prequel series to the original film, and they have found, at least by they, I mean the people in charge of the show, have cast Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother. This article is on CBR, published by Monica Coleman. The Friday the 13th horror franchise's future as a film series is uncertain. However, Peacock and A24 have officially ordered a prequel series. Peacock is the streaming service, the NBC, I believe, the streaming service. So this article continues. The series has been in the works for a few years, as Peacock ordered the prequel, titled Crystal Lake, in 2022. Hannibal creator Brian Fuller was originally attached as writer and showrunner, but left the project in May 2024, noting that A24, quote, decided to go a different way with the material, unquote. Now, the Friday the 13th prequel series has just received an exciting update, as Linda Cardellini has officially joined Crystal Lake as the leading lady. Pamela Voorhees, The Hollywood Reporter, confirms. Okay, I adore Linda Cardellini. She played. Who did she play? She was on back in the 90s. She was on Boy Meets World, and she played the. She played a love interest to Corey. Kind of, not love interest, but love competition to Topanga very briefly in Boy Meets World. And then she played Laura Barton, Hawkeye's wife in the Marvel movies. And she was also in this movie called The Curse of La Llorona, which is a spin-off film in the Conjuring film franchise. The movie wasn't all that good, but she was great in the movie. I love Linda Cardellini so much. I like that it's called Crystal Lake. You know, that's cool. So this isn't the first time that Linda Cardellini has done horror. So that's cool. You know, I love her. We'll see where the series goes, right? Hopefully it's good. Will Jason, because, you know, the Pam Voorhees was the killer in the original film. And so what is her character arc going to be in the show? Will Jason be in the movie? You know, will he be a young boy? You know, if he is, or I'm sorry, will he be in the show? And if he is, what is the mother-son relationship going to be like? You know, or is it just going to be about her? I don't know. I'm intrigued either way. I hope it's good, and that the Friday the 13th franchise gets back to its roots. I hope the franchise gets good again. So yeah, Linda Cardellini playing Pam Voorhees. I love that. Jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this. This next bit of news is another delay, and possibly it might be even more than a delay. So a few weeks back, I talked about the fact that there is going to be another remake, a live action Street Fighter movie remake. They're doing another live action Street Fighter movie. And there's an article here that presents troubling news. This article is on Screen Rant, published by Matthew Rudoy. This article says the upcoming live-action Street Fighter movie has been removed from the 2026 release calendar. The update comes only a month after Kitao Sakurai became the new director of Legendary Entertainment's Street Fighter movie. This article continues, according to Sony Pictures, Street Fighter has now been removed from the studio's 2026 domestic release calendar. Now, I should point out that the reason that this movie has been taken off the calendar, a specific reason has not been given, but it is troubling. The movie may get canceled. Maybe they just need another creative. Maybe the movie needs a creative overhaul. They're going a different way. Whatever. Who knows? But it is troubling. Look, I say this all the time. When it comes to video game to film adaptations, I just want them to be good. I just want them to be good. That live action Street Fighter movie that came out in '94 is bloody awful. It's so bad, and it's heartbreaking to know that movie was the last movie that Raul Julia was in. An actor the caliber of him, he was almost too good to be in. I would go so far as to say, he was too good for that movie to be his last. It's bloody awful. So maybe they just need to do a creative overhaul. Maybe they just, I don't know what's going on with it. But maybe they're afraid it's not going to be good and they just need a creative overhaul. Who knows? But what are you guys' thoughts on this Street Fighter movie getting delayed? Were you looking forward to it? Were you not interested in it? What are you guys' thoughts on it? This next article, the next piece of news, has to do with the Saw franchise. This article is on Screen Rant, published by Bella Garcia. This article says Saw 11 has officially been removed from the Lionsgate release calendar. Following the critical and commercial triumph of Saw 10, or Saw X, in 2023, which amassed over $125 million at the global box office, it didn't take long for Saw 11 to get the green light. The 11th installment in the horror franchise was originally slated to release in theaters on September 27th, 2024, but the date was pushed back a whole year to September 26, 2025. The latest update follows rumors of Saw 11's purported cancellation after infighting among producers halted production in early 2024. This article goes on to say that according to the Hollywood Reporter, Saw 11 has been cut from Lionsgate's theatrical release calendar. Now, so first things first, I like the Saw franchise. I do. They're not they're not Oscar caliber movies to say the least, but I enjoy them. I think the first, particularly the first one, is great. It's great. Um, after after that, I mean they're just fun, you know. Now, I haven't seen. Did I didn't see Saw 10, the last one, Saw X or whatever it was. I didn't see that one. I heard it was actually really good. Like, I think that, I mean, for those who care, I believe that Saw 10 or Saw X is the only Saw movie that has a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's something. And apparently, there's a post-credit scene that um, uh, indicated that there would be more movies. Um, I did. I've seen all the other ones, and I like them. There was this. There was one of them that was called. It was a kind of a spinoff. It was called Spiral, and it starred Chris Rock. That one wasn't too good. That one wasn't too good. So, um, it seems as if so. The post-credit scene in Saw 10 uh, apparently indicates that there there's going to be more of these movies, and it seems that Lionsgate is still interested in making more. It's I guess they need creative overhaul maybe, or uh, they're going in another direction. Who knows? But it doesn't seem like the movie is canceled. It's just not coming out this year. Um, they may be uh, um, rethinking. I mean, because the actor who plays Jigsaw, um, he's getting up there in age, you know, and I say that respectfully, but you know, can you really do a Saw movie without him? So who knows? I mean, so I don't. Those are my thoughts on that. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Were you looking forward to Saw 11? Are you a fan of the franchise? Jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. This next bit of news has to do with, you know, I've talked about in recent weeks that there's going to be a Legally Blonde prequel series titled Elle. And they recently cast uh, um, uh, sorry, they've recently cast a young Elle Woods who will be played by Lexi Mindtree, and Elle's mom, who will be played by June Diane Raphael. She'll play the part of Ava. And uh, also, according to this article, Elle's father has been cast. This article is on Screen Rant, published by Matthew Biggin. This article says, per Variety, Tom Everett Scott, who also appeared on ER, Southland, and Van Wilder, will star as Elle's dad, Wyatt. Now, Tom Everett Scott, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with with all of his work. I remember him most from That Thing You Do, where he played the drummer with the sunglasses. he's just so cool in that movie. I mean, this is cool. I mean, Tom Everett Scott playing her dad. Um, it'll be interesting to see because this. Um, it'll be interesting to see because this show will take place during, obviously, Elle Woods' um, formative years. So it will be interesting to see how her relationship with both of her parents evolves and how, obviously, just like in life, her parents have an effect on her and what she does with her life and her career. And, uh, you know, um, it again, going back, great character dynamic. You know, what is the show going to be? How will Elle what will Elle Woods' relationship with her parents be? That I'm wondering, and I'm wondering how important that will be to the show. And if Elle Woods is in high school, um, I think it'll be very important because high school is kind of that time in everyone's life where you begin your own personal growth. So it'll be interesting to see that character dynamic. I'm really looking forward to the show. I like Tom Everett Scott. So jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on Tom Everett Scott playing Elle Woods' father. Okay, this next piece of news, there's more. This was more casting news regarding that Mummy movie that I talked about that Lee Cronin is directing, starring Jack Raynor. This article is on The Hollywood Reporter, published by Boris Kitt. And this article says Leia Costa has joined Jack Raynor in The Mummy, a new take by writer-director Lee Cronin. This article continues that plot details are being kept in the sarcophagus, but it is understood that Costa and Raynor are playing a married couple who, along with their daughter, cross paths with Mummy Dearest. Mummy Dearest. Chuckle. I chuckle at that, Hollywood Reporter. I chuckle at that, Boris Kitt. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that neither Jack Raynor nor Leia Costa are going to play the Mummy, which is interesting. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but neither one of them are playing the Mummy character. So I'm not familiar with Leia Costa. She was in Newness with Nicholas Hoult. She's also in that Wheel of Time series from Amazon, where she plays. I don't even know how to pronounce her name, quite honestly. Moghedian, is that it? I need to read those books, by the way. So I'm not familiar with Leia Costa. Not much information to go on here again. But what I'm getting from this is that, again, neither one of these people are playing the Mummy. Maybe they're going to go on an adventure and accidentally unearth the Mummy. Maybe they unearth him on purpose. That would be cool, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, not much to go on here, but just more casting. Again, I'm excited for the Mummy movie, this new Mummy movie. So jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. So, this next bit of news here has to do with an upcoming biopic. This article is on CBR, published by Lee Freitag. This article says, acclaimed filmmaker Barry Jenkins didn't take long to find his next project after Disney's Mufasa: The Lion King. Jenkins has come on board to direct A24's upcoming biopic about the life of singer Ronnie Spector. This article continues. According to Deadline, A24 has been developing the project since 2022. Before her passing, Spector was set to be an executive producer on the biopic and hand-selected Zendaya to play her. Excuse me. Let's see. So, Barry Jenkins is directing a biopic about Ronnie Spector starring Zendaya. First of all, Barry Jenkins directed Moonlight, which won Best Picture. If anybody, for all you Oscar junkies out there, that was the infamous botch of the Oscars where they somehow accidentally announced La La Land as Best Picture, and then they announced that Moonlight had actually won Best Picture. Which, like, how do you botch that? How do you mess that up? I don't know. Moonlight is great. Moonlight is great. Barry Jenkins also directed like this article points out, the most recent Mufasa: The Lion King, which is the kind of prequel, sequel to the 2019 remake of The Lion King. I have not seen Mufasa: The Lion King. I have heard it's not very good. But he also directed Moonlight, which is fantastic. I love Zendaya. I think she's a great actress. Well, maybe not great, but she's very good. I don't think she's great yet, but she's very good. She was in 2 movies last year. She was obviously in Dune Part 2, and she was in Challengers. Both of those movies, not only were both of those movies in my top 5 movies of last year, but both characters, if you've seen Challengers and if you've seen Dune Part 2, both characters, that's such a... both characters are on opposite ends of the spectrum. So Zendaya has experience... I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. Zendaya can play a wide range of roles and do it, and she can do it very well. And okay, so Ronnie Spector. I'm not familiar with Ronnie Spector. I know that she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I'm not familiar with her work. And I'm always interested in biopics because I always learn something that I didn't really know. And I am interested in this movie to learn about Ronnie Spector. And I know people could always say, "Oh, you could just listen to her music," her Ronnie Spector and the what is it, the Ronettes, you know, oh, you know. But I'm more interested in seeing this movie and seeing um, her life portrayed in that way. I like the director. I'd be more excited if I hadn't heard that Mufasa wasn't very good. But I love Zendaya. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing a biopic and learning something that I didn't know. Um, so jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about Zendaya playing Ronnie Spector. Okay, so um, if you just give me a moment here, un momento por favor. Let me see, because I want to make sure I get this right. So, um, okay, so this piece of news has to do with more DC Universe news, the James Gunn, Peter Safran DC Universe. Um, and this has to do with Peacemaker Season 2. I I effing loved Peacemaker Season 1. That show is awesome. It's great. It's so outlandish and so what's the it's the humor in it is so it's that type of humor where you're either gonna think it's hilarious or you're gonna think it's disgusting. And I find it hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. If you haven't seen Peacemaker Season 1, watch it. It's it's great. It's great. So this is about um, Peacemaker Season 2, which will be. I'm not quite sure how to say this, but Peacemaker Season 2 will be canon to the James Gunn DC universe. It will reference events in Peacemaker Season 1, even though Peacemaker Season 1 isn't DCU canon. I'm not quite sure how else to say it. I hope that makes sense. So, a lesser known character will be in Peacemaker Season 2. This article is on MovieWeb, published by Richard Fink. This article says a lesser known Batman villain is joining the DCU as actress Bray Noel has confirmed she will appear in Peacemaker Season 2. This article goes on to say that IMDb lists Bray Noel as playing the DC villain White Rabbit in Peacemaker Season 2. Now, this article does say, while IMDb listings don't always mean an actor will be part of the series, Noel confirmed the casting news on her Instagram stories. Now, White Rabbit is an interesting character. She's kind of a, I mean, obviously the name White Rabbit. She plays White Rabbit is an Alice in Wonderland themed character. Um, Now the I want to make sure I have my information correct again. Um, there have been several iterations and several different versions of the White Rabbit character. And there's a version of the character named Jaina Hudson, who was the daughter of an American diplomat and an Indian Bollywood actress. Her powers, she can duplicate herself she can duplicate herself, and one of them in one of the she can duplicate herself and have one person have white skin and hair. So Jaina and White Rabbit are two different people with their own individual thoughts and opinions. Now, Bray Noel may be playing White Rabbit, or I'm sorry, she may be playing Jaina Hudson, or she may be playing a different version of the character. And White Rabbit is that character certainly fits the tone of the Peacemaker show. It will be interesting to see how big of a role White Rabbit will be in the series. But if it's as good if season 2 is as good as season 1 was, and season 1 was great, and you had these characters in season 1, like Vigilante and Judo Master and White Dragon, and they could really do White Rabbit well in the show. So I'm looking forward to more obscure characters. It certainly fits the Peacemaker series and fits with the history of specifically James Gunn DC properties. The Suicide Squad movie that he directed, which had Starro the Conqueror as the villain. I mean, that was awesome. If you had told me we'd see a DC movie with Starro the Conqueror, that was great. All I have to say is I love that we're getting more obscure characters, and if Peacemaker season 2 is as good as season 1 was, then there's no cause. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Jump in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are on White Rabbit joining season 2 of Peacemaker. Okay, this next bit of news is interesting. So I want to talk about something first before I get into it, and then segue into this piece of news. One of my, I would say, guilty pleasures when it comes to entertainment is Scooby-Doo. I know, people are like, what? Really? I get such immense joy out of watching Scooby-Doo. The movies, maybe not so much. I mean, they're fine. But the original, especially the original series, it's so much fun. I just I get a kick out of Scooby Doo. What can I say? So this article is on the Hollywood Reporter, published by Rick Porter. And there's going to be a new Scooby Doo series coming soon. There's going to be a live action Scooby Doo series from Netflix. This article says, again, published on the Hollywood Reporter by Rick Porter, Scooby Doo, where are you? At Netflix. The streamer has given a series order for a live action Scooby Doo series based on the beloved and very long lived cartoon Great Dane and his human mystery solving friends. The series from Warner Brothers TV, creators Josh Applebaum and Scott Rosenberg, and executive producer Greg Berlanti, has been in the works for nearly a year. So the live action, there's going to be a live action Scooby-Doo series at Netflix. This article goes on to say the Netflix series will be a, quote, modern reimagining, unquote, of the premise, the streamer says. The show's description reads as follows. Quote, during their final summer at camp, old friends Shaggy and Daphne get embroiled in a haunting mystery surrounding a lonely, lost Great Dane puppy that may have been a witness to a supernatural murder. Together with the pragmatic and scientific townie Velma and the strange but ever so handsome new kid Freddy, they set out to solve the case that is pulling each of them into a creepy nightmare that threatens to expose all of their secrets. Great. Great. Come on. I mean, okay. My concern is that it's going to be live action. Only because the movies were live action. And those movies weren't very good. Now, that had more to do with the story of the movies, like the script and the dialogue. But Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. I'm sorry. That was perfect. That was perfect. I'm concerned that it's going to be live action. Like, how will they be able to make it work? The premise is interesting, though. A haunting mystery surrounding a lonely lost Great Dane puppy. Could that be Scrappy? Could that be Scrappy? Scrappy Doo? So there's that. I mean, come on. Scooby-Doo goes back to the, 60s, 70s? Something like that? I mean, so at some point you have to, in some ways, reinvent the franchise, right? Scooby-Doo live action, a series. I'll check it out, quite honestly. I hope it looks good. I hope the scripts are good. I hope it's, I want more Scooby-Doo. I want more Scooby-Doo. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about a live action Scooby-Doo movie coming from Netflix. Or Scooby-Doo series, I should say. Okay, there's more MCU news to talk about here. So, for those who don't know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe was going to bring the character of Blade into their franchise. and it was, and most likely still is, going to be played by Mahershala Ali, he's won 2 Oscars. He's won for Moonlight and he won for Green Book. He's also going to be in the new Jurassic World movie that's coming out later this year. Blade was not going to be played by Wesley Snipes, even though he showed up in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was awesome. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe was going to is going to bring Blade into their universe, and they were going to do a movie. The character was off screen in the Eternals movie, but they were going to do a movie, and it's been delayed. Several times. So I don't know when it was announced. I know. I know that they've gone through 3 directors. So the movie was announced in 2019, and they brought Mahershala Ali on stage, and in 2019, and they announced a director in 2021, and since then it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and they've brought different writers on, and they have finally announced, according to this article, their 3rd director. They've had directors come and go, and now I should point out that, much like a piece of news earlier today, this comes from a movie scooper, a movie insider, and much like the piece of news that I talked about earlier, this insider has reported things that have turned out to be true and things that have turned out to be not true. But most of the time, the news that he reports on, that this person reports on, turns out to be true. So this article is on CBR, published by Jody Brown. This article says, reports claim John Wick franchise helmer Chad Stahelski is the latest filmmaker to take the reins of the long gestating blockbuster. According to this Hollywood scooper, Marvel has enlisted Stahelski to become the Blade reboot's 3rd director since its 2019 announcement. This article continues, Stahelski was reportedly chosen after Marvel passed on another director to lead Blade 4. Let's see here. Chad Stahelski this article continues, Stahelski is no stranger to comic book movies, having served as a 2nd unit director on the MCU's Captain America Civil War and DC's Birds of Prey. The John Wick film series helmer has led all 4 installments of the popular Keanu Reeves-led neo-noir action franchise and is overseeing its expansion at Lionsgate, with multiple films, shows, and an anime series in development at the studio. There are rumors of... I will say this before I get into anything. There are rumors of a certain actress being involved in this film, that if this Blade movie, if this director announcement if Chad Stahelski sees this movie through, and if this actress remains involved in the project, I have that this actress has had she's done some things that make me say to myself, I am not paying money to see this movie in the theater. I will watch it at home. That is all I'm saying. As far as Chad Stahelski directing this movie, Marvel getting Chad Stahelski to direct this movie, awesome. Awesome. It, especially given the kind of movie that they want and the kind of character that Blade is. Chad Stahelski directing a Blade movie could be great. And I say that because he's directed all 4 John Wick movies. And all 4 of them are great. I effing love the John Wick films. There's some of them I can't get enough of them. They're great. John Wick Chapter 4 especially was one of my favorite movies of that year. It was 3 hours of awesome. It was 3 hours of awesome. So Chad Stahelski taking over and directing a Blade movie could be great. I have every if Chad Stahelski sees this movie through and this movie finally comes out and it's directed by Chad Stahelski, I have no doubt it's going to be great. I hope this movie happens soon. Mahershala Ali is, I believe, over 50. So he's not getting any younger, and if they want him to play Blade, they better do it soon. That's all I'm saying. But Chad Stahelski directing, awesome, great news. Now start filming the darn thing. Jump in the comments section and let me know what you guys think about this. I may have to leave soon. I'm going to go see Black Bag today. I may have to leave soon, actually. So this next piece of news, I've talked in the past weeks about this Will Ferrell, Zac Efron courtroom comedy that's coming from Amazon MGM Studios, and this next article brings more casting news. This article is on Deadline, published by Justin Kroll. And this article says that Billy Eichner has joined the cast of an untitled comedy from writer and director Nicholas Stoller for Amazon MGM Studios, alongside previously announced stars Will Ferrell, Zac Efron, Regina Hall, and Jimmy Tatro. Stoller will direct. This article does point out that Billy Eichner will play the bailiff to Ferrell's judge. Billy Eichner, he voiced Timon in the 2019 remake of The Lion King and in this most recent Mufasa Lion King movie. So he voiced Timon, and he was also in the Coen Brothers movie Drive Away Dolls. So he had and he's great. He's great. I think Billy Eichner is a tremendous talent, and I think that working alongside Zac Efron and especially Will Ferrell will bring out the best in him, and I think that this especially if he's playing the bailiff to, to Will Ferrell's, judge character. I think that could be comedic gold. Um, I really I'm looking forward to this movie, and I think Billy Eichner's great. So jump in the comment section and let me know. It's weird that like, what's the title of this movie going to be? Uh, that seems a little weird to me. Uh, but who knows? I mean, coming up with a title as someone who has written some short films that I did in film school, coming up with a title can be hard. So I will say that. Not that I'm comparing writing short films in film school to making Hollywood motion pictures. I'm just saying that coming up with a title can be hard. So let's jump in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are on Billy Eichner joining Will Ferrell and Zac Efron in this comedy. Excuse me just a second. I have a text. Oh, good. Okay. My mom and my sister live in Ohio, and there were tornadoes that touched down there. I was just checking up on them. I miss Ohio. Anyway, so I need to leave to go to the movie. I'm seeing Black Bag, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard it's fantastic. So you will see me later on this week. I promise. I'm sorry for the delay in this week's show, but I shall return. I shall return with more stuff to talk about. So, as always, if you like this show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you have a comment, a question, or if you'd like me to just ramble on about movies that I love, you can email me anytime at the address listed in the description of this video. And with that, I'll see you at the movies, and maybe I'll see you a little later today at Black Bag. Who knows? Who knows who may be listening out there? So with all that, I will say have a good day, and I will see you at the movies.